Are you ever worried about being impolite to Alexa?
No.
Like, eventually she's gonna...
No, she did a full-on Game of Thrones, or was it Lord of the Rings ad?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. I remember I listened to your episode where you did that, and she's like, I'm going to do a plug right now in the middle of your fucking episode while
She
you
literally
guys
said,
are...
by the way.
Yeah. We asked her for a movie
in case
fact.
you haven't heard.
She's like, by the way, Rings of Power. Like, fuck
You're
you.
immediately like,
I'm
fuck
not getting
you.
paid for this.
Yeah.
And we sent Bezos an invoice for $3 million for
Right.
that ad.
Sounds about right.
And he paid it because he just doesn't even...
He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this for?
Like every what if every single Cash App request you send Jeff
sure.
Bezos, he's just like ding, ding, ding. Like, green,
I'm sure
green.
I owe somebody something.
Yeah.
Weren't you commenting on every post that he did for a while?
Oh yeah, I was doing this bit where anytime Jeff Bezos posted, I just said, "Give me $1 million." Every single time he posted anything. So it's like him and his girlfriend, and there's just me. Can I have $1 million right underneath
Shoot
it?
your shot.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, you miss 100% the shots you don't take.
Every fucking week, new movies get released. How does anyone ever see these? There are too many movies.
Welcome to There Are Too Many Movies, family. This week on There Are Too Many Movies, we got a special guest on the show.
Travis.
Welcome.
What's
From
up?
Sunday Scaries, dude.
Scary Sunday Scaries.
Do I get a little toot every time? That's
Yeah.
nice. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
The audience.
Every
it's a
time I
lot-
start trying to talk, you're just going to...
You call it Sunday Scaries, but
I call it Sunday Scaries.
Okay.
but the logo, or no, the
official name.
the
right?
social
The
says
URLs,
Sundays.
Yeah.
Scary Sunday
Scaries.
Scaries.
Because I haven't been able to lock down those URLs yet.
That's not confusing
I'm
at
trying to scoop them away from
You know
from
what
the
you
people
could
that have
do?
them right now.
Fucking kill them.
All right.
Well, it's an option.
It's always on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Chris Collins
I'm Josh Rodriguez.
I'm Alex Wilson.
Yeah, I'm Travis Wagner.
from.
Sunday Scaries.
And what do
Welcome.
you do on Sunday Scaries?
On Sunday Scaries, every week we take a deep dive into a particular horror movie, try to make connections between that horror movie and other movies within the same genre.
So you love horrors, is what
Yeah.
you're saying?
I love
We all-
horrors.
Well, that's not what we're into specifically.
I love horrors.
Yeah, I love horrors. too.
I've been into horrors lately.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Body
big- big
horror.
So
horrors
maybe not
person.
you necessarily,
I've always been into horrors for one
Okay.
thing. All
but
right.
you're big time into horrors.
Yeah, I'm a big horse boy.
You have a horror podcast.
Yeah, a horse podcast.
Yeah.
It's all about equestrian activities.
So this week on There Are Too Many Movies, we are going to do something a little different. We're going to do our watch list, play some games around a little movie called I Know What You Did Last Summer, the cult classic.
Let's go.
Horror film.
One more cheer for I Know What You Did Last Summer, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt. Let's go.
So we're going to do that. And then for the full breakdown and review, we're going to do a crossover with Travis's podcast over at Sunday Scaries. So you hop over there for the full review, but we're going to do our watch list, some recos, and some games here. But before we do that, we're going to talk about our Patreon because we need money. And
Please.
It is $5 a month to listen to this show, bonus episodes.
you get a bonus episode every month. You get access to our Discord. You get feet pics. You get private conversations with us via Discord. Those are undisclosed. You can DM us.
And Travis, you're a part of the Patreon, of course.
Absolutely, yeah. I subscribed to yours a while ago.
Go ahead and do
That's
it.
those feet pics, man.
I know you're not subscribed, but you should
Yeah.
go ahead and do it right
Yeah.
now.
Here, I'll do it for you.
whenever
on.
you
Do it.
say.
Yeah.
Just do it right now.
And if you could show us the screen as well, that would be
Yeah.
cool.
Or just give me $5.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm being held hostage right now.
You can just
No,
give
you're
me
fine.
Jennifer
$5.
Love Hewitt deepfake. What's that?
Yeah, weird. Okay.
Anyways,
Like we all haven't looked it up immediately after watching.
all right. So, anyways, what have you guys been watching?
Travis, you want to go first?
I can go first. Yeah,
You're the
I'm
guest.
So I listened to you guys do Signs last week, and I was really upset that I couldn't hang out for that episode. Man, that was a
Banger.
That's a big banger. But
I just
I've got
met
a
her.
few.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I saw Bullet Train over the weekend. Finally, I think I was a few weeks behind that one, dude, and that was a fucking blast. Oh my
It
God.
is
I really
a lot
wanna
of
see
fun.
that.
It is the most Tarantino-esque, non-Tarantino movie that I think I've seen in a while.
You know how I described it? Sorry to interrupt, but
please.
it was it's the most Guy Ritchie, not Guy Ritchie movie, where it's like it's a Guy Ritchie movie without all the like over masculine like fucking cringiness.
Yeah.
Like so, but yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's like Tarantino fucked Guy Ritchie's feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just littered with Chekhov's guns. Like it's just, and then everything comes together in the end. It's a spectacle. Aaron Taylor Johnson is hot as hell in that movie.
That's our boy.
Fucking, Brad Pitt having way too much fun getting his face punched in for 2 hours straight.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, gimme, dude. Like, just gimme more.
Travis, have you seen the video "Black Rain" by Rye?
No.
Well, I'll cut it in right here. And we're back.
Wow, that was awesome.
Jesus Christ, he's a great actor.
Unbothered.
So yeah, Bullet Train. What are your overall thoughts?
Fucking yeah, I just had a great time. It was I think I went into that movie with very low expectations. I was just excited to see an action movie with, like I said, Brad Pitt getting pummeled, and yeah, it was fun. Karen Fukuhara's in there, from The Boys. She has a
Yeah.
little
Oh, nice.
cameo. I don't know.
I thought she was going to be a bigger player
Right.
throughout the movie. Like, it's literally just that
They
one
kind of
scene.
set her
Spoilers,
up.
but
Yeah, they tease her. Part of it. I feel like it's half murder mystery. It's almost like Murder on the Orient Express in a way,
But
And-
fun.
but fun and interesting to watch. And they tease a lot of loose ends that you think are gonna maybe reveal themselves later.
Yeah, it's you always they keep you guessing. They
Yeah.
have a lot of bait out there. They throw out a lot of bait, like, oh, you think it's this person?
I forget his name, but Brian Tyree
Henry?
Hen-
Yeah,
Henry.
yeah.
He is
Plays the
fucking
other twin.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And like his whole through line with the trains and like this being called Bullet Train. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I really, really liked that aspect of the film.
Yeah, and their bit worked out. Like I think that was the
Yeah.
great thing about that movie is none of the individual bits ever felt like they got tiresome. They
No.
carry them through, and man, it's just also littered with fucking cameos that just are hilarious and pay off.
Oh,
It was
man.
a goofy movie. I watched that, had a great time. I've also been. It's the age of high fantasy now. We're now steeped into it. I don't know if you guys caught up on. Speaking of, I know it was promoted on your show thanks to Alexa the other day, but Rings of Power is out. And so
You watched the first episode?
I watched the first couple of epides. I don't know. Did you guys catch those?
we
No.
Yeah.
we kind
Are
of
you
feel obligated
not
to
to
We're
watch them?
spite not watching it.
We are boycotting it vicariously until Bezos responds to our invoice that we sent for $3 million for the ad.
Yeah. You might as well up it at this point. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Stuart Gordon directed the movie Reanimator. By
Nice.
the way, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power is releasing on September 2nd.
oh, shut the fuck
God,
up.
fuck
Alexa.
Yeah, I kind of hate watched them. I don't know. I was like, there's the pop culture completionist inside of me just wants to like go out there and make sure I see everything so that I can have an opinion on it that nobody wants to hear about. And yeah, they're fine.
It
Like,
is like the hypest thing in the world right now.
It is.
Did they drop the whole season? Or is it
It's just the 2 episodes, and then they're going to do a weekly release, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
But they're, I mean,
that.
they're honestly, they're beautiful. It's a beautiful show. I can tell it's going to be like, I mean, it's like the most expensive show in history, right?
Shit,
It's
is it?
been, it's I think it's like
Yeah.
millions and millions and millions of dollars per
like
episode.
$300 or $400 million.
Yeah, for
the
the
season.
entire
Good God.
thing or whatever, and they've already renewed it. But of course, it's Amazon, so they're in the unique position where they're not like HBO and Warner Brothers, where they're struggling to
Make
keep the
that
lights
return.
on and stuff.
Yeah.
they're just throwing money at it because they're like, yeah, we have.
It's like, oh, you bought a new shower
streaming
curtain,
service, I
so
guess.
here's fucking season 6 of.
He's like,
Yeah.
I might not launch a rocket this month and then just give all that money to the show.
Yeah.
It's like, how much money can we have for Rings of Power? Yes.
All of it.
Yeah.
Bezos is like, yes.
Hell yes.
Go ahead.
Make it.
Blank check.
Yeah, and it's good. You can tell. I mean, it pays off. Like that's the one thing I will say about that show is it is visually stunning, and the something that I think was lacking in a lot of like, without starting to sound like too much of a Lord of the Rings nerd, is like all of like the the Hobbit sequel trilogy they did is all the monsters start looking really bad compared to like the original trilogy,
Yeah.
like all the CGI and stuff. And in this one, it seems like I don't know who they hired or what studio is doing it for them, but they spent a lot more time, and it pays off.
It seems like more practical effects.
It's not more practical, but it's just more well executed CGI and stuff. You can tell it's one of those. I don't know. It's a show where I'm gonna go and eat an edible and like turn my brain off and just like marvel at it for
Nice.
an hour a week.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like the CW series knockoff. It feels pretty good.
It feels like there's gonna be some stuff there that like they actually they're setting up good long term, I guess, like stories. And I think people's main criticism right now is like, oh, there's no plot, and it's like, well, if you have long form television, you're gonna have 12 hours of story to tell. So
Yeah.
let it get its bearings first, and then we'll decide if it's shitty or not.
They've never seen a Nicholas Winding Refn film.
God.
I haven't. No.
Oh my God, dude. Cut to fucking 10 episodes of
Too Old to Die Young.
Too Old to Die Young. God. Must
There's like
be
a 2.5 hour
You've
episode.
seen Drive. You've seen
Oh,
Drive.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's that series opens up with like a 5-minute dolly down a car hood.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's very
for like
indulgent.
5 minutes.
And you're like,
It just-
oh shit.
It's just the vibiest thing on
Yeah.
planet Earth.
Just
It
car
is-
porn. Yeah.
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 And I was like, I'm here for this. I'm here for all this.
and porn.
And porn. Yeah.
So, oh wait, I'm sorry. Rings of Power. Would you recommend?
I would recommend it. I think people are, and I think it's going to be popular. I think it's interesting seeing, like I said, in the fall of high fantasy that we're in now with the Game of Thrones prequel series and then also the Lord of the Rings prequel series. These two are going to be like, I thought that they were going to be like opposed and cannibalizing each other's audiences, but obviously Game of Thrones is more geared towards an adult audience, and then this is all for young adults and
The more
kids and
traditional
stuff.
fantasy.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
you know,
that's
somewhat
cool.
bloodless violence. I will say though, actually, from a horror perspective, there are some moments in the second episode of The Rings of Power. We're never like scared of orcs and stuff in the original like Lord of the Rings trilogy and stuff, but in this one they really do a good job of setting up like how normal, I guess, how in the universe, like normal peasants and stuff would behave in response to these monsters and everything. And like, there are some genuinely suspenseful, thrilling moments that I was really pleased by. Actually.
That's pretty cool.
Is it attached to the Peter Jackson lore?
I mean, it's all part of the Tolkien,
Yeah.
universe.
Right,
and stuff.
yeah. But
So
I'm
it's,
saying, like, is
The
it like,
Tolkienverse.
the Tolkienverse?
Should I read
you
the
gonna see-
Silmarillion before?
Right.
are there going to be characters
So you
from-
get immediately right off the bat you get young Elrond, but it's not like a deep fake de-aged Hugo Weaving. It's a different actor.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, so the idea is that you get young Elrond, I guess, millennia before the.
I was going to
events
say that would
of
be like
the,
5,000 years before.
the events
Damn.
of Lord of the Rings take place, and you get young Galadriel, but it's not played by Kate Blanchett; it's played by a different actor.
Got it.
I thought about that. I was like, man, it'd be badass if they brought her back. For
Yeah.
They just Irishman everybody.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
She looks good though, dude. I think she could do it. Like she.
Oh yeah, she would kill that
Yeah,
still.
2002 Kate
sure.
Blanchett. I don't know. I also watched. So there's another like. I've been going down a Kubrick rabbit hole. This sounds so fucking pretentious.
Go on.
There's another podcast that I listen to that like is covering directors and stuff, and they're doing Kubrick right now. So it's making me rewatch a lot of his movies and a lot of the ones that I'd never seen before, like
Nice.
his first few movies. So I watched the 1960 Spartacus, and
Nice.
it's kind of a slog, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Early
Yeah.
Kubrick is not good, dude.
It's not
3-hour
refined.
movie.
Yeah.
And you're talking to one of his biggest fans,
Yeah.
and Chris. I mean,
Me.
there's a fucking
I
2001.
kind of like Kubrick.
Oh my god.
It's
that one. It's tough, but it's like that wasn't even his movie from the get go.
No,
right?
he inherited it. Yeah.
Right.
He got told within like 24 hours, like, hey, you're going to go direct this movie. And he's like, all right, cool.
And it was Kirk Douglas that was like, I want him to do it, which
Yeah.
is great. That's
And Kirk-
fucking cool.
Yes. Yeah. Weird. Yeah. Like young Kirk Douglas or like young-ish Kirk Douglas with his weird, chin dimple stuff going on. It was an interesting movie to watch, but yeah, it's definitely like, as I got into it, I was like, man, this looks like an expensive fucking movie. And it's just, I don't know, but it's a long,
It
very
makes you
drawn
like.
out.
It makes you think about how many fucking extras they used to
Oh, yeah.
use, and it's just
Totally.
like that is magic,
It's
dude.
absurd.
It's
Yeah.
it's like so fun to see on screen, but like the film itself is pretty
Yeah.
fucking boring.
I tried to watch The Killing last week and I fell asleep.
Oh, really?
man.
yeah. It's like Kubrick didn't become Kubrick till like I don't
Strange
know.
Love or something.
Yeah, but I would say Strangelove. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
probably.
like when it started.
I feel
and then
like that's-
2001, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Here we go.
Because between Spartacus and Strangelove, you get Lolita too, and so there's that awkward like. Sort of,
Future Chris, edit that out.
all right, we'll go ahead and we'll gloss over that topic real quick.
Why don't you have a seat there and get comfortable from that?
But yeah, I watched that. I also so they put Austin Butler's Elvis on streaming now on HBO,
Yes.
and as like another one that I was kind of like with all these biopics and stuff, I kind of always turn them on as a hate watch as well. Like whether it's the Rocket Man one or Bohemian Rhapsody or this one, and I watched it though, and it's because it's Baz Luhrmann, and so I watched it and I was like, I know I'm about to get my fucking brain blown out by all the fucking visual elements of this. And
Right.
Totally.
It does. It delivers on that. It is
It does.
The
yeah.
performances
trippy, like
are incredible.
yeah. Dude,
aside from Tom Hanks, dude.
Yeah, but I mean the literal performances.
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah,
Elvis, like Austin Butler as Elvis, and
Right.
dude, those
Yeah.
are
Dude, that
voice.
ending scene,
Yes.
the ending sequence as he's playing that last song, and it like it cuts to the Austin Butler doing his thing, then back to Elvis, like the actual Elvis, the actual footage. That was like perfect.
It's on the, and I guess that's
masterful.
become an art form now of, whether it's Rami Malek doing, Freddie Mercury and stuff. It's the idea of that. I don't know how I feel about that. I haven't decided where I land on the topic of good or, up and coming actors using the shell of an actual person to sort of show their chops in the acting world. But it does seem like it's become kind of a a tool now.
Kind of like a shortcut or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about that, because it's like, I guess it's either we get that or we get, deep faking, the likeness of a deceased actor into a movie or something.
So it's like it's not necessarily acting; it's more of an impersonation.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It's like I'm going to do my Elvis impression for 2 hours.
But why I'm conflicted though is that's not fair, because it does take an immense amount of talent and training to pull something off like that. But
Yeah,
it's
if you like
also
learned
just, like,
guitar, that's pretty.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
right. Whether it's that or if it's like the kid from Stranger Things playing fucking Metallica, like at the end of his shit.
Hell
And it's
yeah.
like, I don't know. Maybe it's. I think the cynical part of me is like, all right, people being like established IP essentially, and being like, all right, that's what you're using is a actual person as the established IP for you to.
I literally think it's fucking insane that Shaquille O'Neal owns the trademark of Elvis Presley.
Seriously?
So like, did you guys not know that?
No.
So Shaquille O'Neal owns so many fucking businesses incorporated. Like he owns half of Papa John's now, but like he owns all of the IP and like
they just gave it to him. They're like, please,
They're like, we're sorry. You'll do better with this than we will.
just hit a quick rebrand.
Yeah.
But he actually literally owns the likeness and IP of Elvis and Marilyn Monroe.
It has to be.
Whoa.
So those are the two of the most like highest franchise,
sorry.
brands of all time. Probably.
How do you own that?
Yeah.
It's just a
He bought
person.
out their estate and their likeness and their companies.
Jesus.
Because they're when you're a gigantic celebrity like that, you have to have your own company.
Yeah,
So-
and very big doorways.
Oh, right. Like there's the estate of Jimi Hendrix and the estate of Michael
Right.
Jackson.
Right.
Okay.
That's why Michael Jackson bought out like the Beatles at one point. He bought their entire music catalog.
Well, that was also
when he
just a
was
fuck you to the Paul
to Paul
McCartney
McCartney,
shit,
yeah,
like,
of course. But Shaquille O'Neal owns Marilyn Monroe and Elvis.
So
bizarre
when
to me.
their estate.
So when they made the movie Elvis, they had to go to Shaquille O'Neal and be like,
Is this
Hey,
cool,
man.
man?
He's like, we're gonna put a general commercial right in the middle.
Yeah.
of that shit.
He's like, I want to
I
play
know what-
BB King, dude.
I know a tiny man with a helmet who's gonna have a word in this.
Yeah.
and it's,
Yeah.
That's weird.
oh my
Isn't that
God.
crazy?
That is wild.
Bizarre. Yeah. The last one I'll say is so recently, one of my friends and a recent guest on my podcast, Bianca, had her birthday celebration. She's a big
Shout out to the girl who works at the box office.
hell yeah. I know you guys
shouts.
probably know her too. But for her birthday celebration, they did a screening of Queen of the Damned over at Texas Theater.
Dude, I wish I could have made that.
Yeah.
It
Same.
was dope.
I'm so pissed.
They had an actual DJ set and everything
yeah,
too, right?
Yeah, my buddies who I like play baseball with and shit, DJ'd and stuff, and they sold out the upper theater, man. It was dope to see like people sitting on the stairwell in that tiny upper room, which if you haven't seen a movie in the upstairs screening room at the Texas Theater, it's great. It's very, very old school, but it's like if you're not sitting right in the middle of the theater, it is old school in the sense that you have to crane your neck to kind of like watch everything.
But there's something endearing about it.
Yeah, it's cool, and like, I like that about it. It's almost like going to see something at a drive-in, and obviously I'll go see anything at the Texas Theater because I love patronizing that amazing establishment.
Yes. Shout out to Texas Theater.
We actually have a seat in the upstairs. If you take a photo of it, send it to us, and we'll send you something.
Yeah,
Fuck
go
yeah.
go to the upstairs. We have an embroidered seat there if you can find it. Send us a
Embroidered?
pic. Embroidered?
Engraved.
Is it a plate?
Engraved?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's not stitched in there, Chris.
I don't know.
It's a plate.
It's just like your
So-
face, like
engraved.
cross-stitched, so people can sit right on top of it.
It's knitted into the seat.
Yeah.
It's knitted into that metal plate.
Yeah.
But Queen of the Damned, man, what a horny, amazing new metal vampire movie. It's,
The music is just fantastic, man.
I am so unironically like infatuated with mid 2000s, horror and camp and stuff now.
Totally.
It's
Obviously,
just,
like what
it's come full
with what we're
circle
doing
now.
here.
Yeah, exactly. What we're doing today, but it just brings me so much joy, and it's the proto Twilight movie where you watch it, fucking Aaliyah's in there.
Aaliyah
and, like,
fucking kills it, dude.
Oh my god, yeah. R.I.P. Like it was a
Yeah, she died like
taken
very soon after that film
Yeah,
came
the
out, right?
dedication at the end of the movie is like
Oh,
to
shit.
her.
Oh, so it
Yeah,
was
it's
like-
crazy. Like
Wow.
During production. That's crazy.
Shit.
yeah, which is wild, dude. I don't know, but yeah, fucking fantastic movie.
I remember that movie coming out very vividly, and I was like, "This is gonna be dope."
This is a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the trailer and being like, "Mom, can I watch Queen of the Darned?"
Queen of the gosh dang it.
Yeah. She's like, "No."
I was making that joke about craning my neck, and you have Old on DVD.
Don't worry about
Oh,
it.
it's Chris's favorite movie.
It's his favorite movie.
Don't worry
Also,
about
no,
it.
his two favorite movies are Old and Corky Romano. Well, actually, three: Old, Corky Romano, and The Fountain.
Specifically on DVD.
Yeah.
Not on Blu-ray.
So we have listeners
my
that like to
God.
send us Chris's favorite movies.
Yeah. because they get me.
Old being
my
one of them
God.
Yeah.
on DVD specifically.
Also got the roast of Flavor Flav.
That's yours.
No, well, I gave it to you.
Yeah.
So
I
my
appreciate
transitive property.
and unironically, Upstream Color, which is your favorite fucking movie.
I love that movie so much. Only on DVD though.
exactly.
Specifically on DVD.
or like downstream shit.
Okay.
Got 'em.
Fucking Rex, dude.
Dang.
Fuck.
But those are my recs. Spartacus being the only like rec lukewarm.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
All right.
If you want to complete your keep rec watch list.
Yeah.
I have tried. I've tried. Like as a Kubrick stan, I've been like, I should see those, and then I go and I'm like,
I just imagine you seeing one black and white frame and be like,
And the fucking
this.
killing, dude. That's the way it is. It's
yeah.
like,
Oh, black and white frame, raspy audio. Fuck this. Movie started later. Bye.
Movies did start later, technically.
Movies started later. Anyways, who wants to go next on their watch list?
I'll go next.
Excellent.
How about this? I watched Untold, man. So it's getting to that time of year. The yap up up. You know what I mean?
yes.
My favorite time of year. So there's an Untold series on Netflix, sports documentary series, and it's cinema. Like,
Oh, is this the Monty Teo story?
Manti Te'o.
Manti Teo. I've only read it.
Monty Tay.
Hey, man.
And you nailed that.
I did.
Way to go.
Yeah, I'm sticking to it.
I think it's called The Girlfriend Who Did Not Exist. So Manti Te'o was a linebacker at Penn State, grew up in Hawaii, and then moved to Penn State for obviously to go to college and play really good football. He was fucking amazing. He was like one of the best defensive players in the country. And a big part of his journey was the story that he had, where his girlfriend dies before one of the biggest games of the year. That happens. He almost wins a Heisman Trophy. Like, he's one of the best college players coming out of the draft, and going to go in the first round. And then Deadspin, the sports, it's like a sports like TMZ. It's like they do like shitty news about athletes and stuff. So they find out that his girlfriend that died doesn't exist. So this
I'm sorry, what?
yeah. So the story that
was a ride.
they built this entire thing on, his story, they were like, yeah, the girl that his girlfriend doesn't exist. Like there's no evidence of
He's
a girl
like, yeah, she died.
dying.
Technically, she no longer exists.
So they're like, they can't find any records of her, and they're like, well, she doesn't fucking exist. Turns out he was being catfished by somebody from his hometown, like I think a second cousin or something. I
Yeesh.
don't want to fact check that.
I'm sorry.
But
This is insane.
Yeah.
carried on a relationship with him over the internet for like 2 solid years while he was in college. And like, whenever he was like, all right, we need to meet up or whatever, she kills herself.
Technically.
Yes. Not kills herself, but like,
So did he
her
find
persona.
out that he was catfished because of TMZ? Okay.
yeah, yes.
Oh, so that's what I'm
shit.
saying. Is like, so that's how he found out.
That's
that
how he
his
finds out.
girlfriend was not a real person.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
One of the craziest documentaries ever of all time. I remember this at the time, and like his persona was like ruined by the media after that, because they were like, oh, he made it up to like
Oh, that's
gain sympathy, and like of course all the memes and jokes and like, oh, he doesn't have a girlfriend, I'm Manti Te'oing, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
putting your hand over nobody. It was so fucked up. So that like essentially ruined his confidence,
God.
his career. He was drafted in the second round because of this issue, which cost him millions of dollars. Essentially, he was supposed to be drafted in the first round as one of the best defensive players. Anyways, it's a fucking crazy story. Please check it out.
I cannot wait for the thriller starring Rosamund Pike, directed by David Fincher. Fucking dude got Gone Girled so hard,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, Gone Fish.
Yeah. That's
Gone
fucking
fishing.
It's a crazy documentary, and like they did Malice at the Palace. Remember that documentary?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the greatest sports
That
documentaries
is really
ever,
good.
and it's only fucking like an hour long. Like they're really, really, really well researched, well edited. The cinematography in this documentary is just fantastic. Highly recommend Untold. I saw The Foreign Insomnia.
Huh?
So you guys know Insomnia, right?
Oh,
Loosely.
you're so
Oh, okay.
obscure. You just clarify that it's foreign.
We've all seen it.
Yeah, we've all seen it.
You've seen it.
Everyone loves
Yeah, everyone
You love
loves it.
So the
Insomnia?
foreign version of Insomnia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the original,
Oh, okay.
the OG.
Huh.
What year did it come out?
I don't know, 90 something, 92.
so obscure because it's from the 90s.
He's so,
What is Chris's deal?
he acts like he was born in 2003.
Movie started later, dude.
Well, it's in the Criterion collection, Chris. If you didn't know this.
Oh.
Exactly. Honestly, dude, nah, man. So Chris Nolan did the remake of Insomnia that we all know and love with Al Pacino. Robin Williams is the fucking murderer, dude. Not spoilers, it's in the trailer. And it's fucking 20 years old. Fuck you. But the foreign one starring Stellan Skarsgård. What? Dude, it's really not very interesting or
Really?
good.
So what's the elevator pitch for this movie? 'Cause I have no idea what this is. I haven't even seen the Nolan one.
So it's a detective that goes to Alaska. I think this is part of Norway. I don't know. But like the sun doesn't
A cold place.
cold
sun
place,
doesn't set.
but the sun doesn't set. So it's like constantly daylight outside.
So it's like the opposite of 30 Days of Night.
Quite literally. There are vampires on the other side, and then on this side,
Right.
it's a murder.
Yeah.
Anyways, the girl gets murdered. The detective's investigating it, and while he's investigating it, he accidentally kills his partner, and he's having to blame it on the killer that they're looking for. That's the log line. The foreign film is just kind of like, what?
Yes.
Like, it's fine.
What's the country of origin of the foreign film? Is it like Swedish or something, or
Sweden or Norway?
okay, it's like a
I don't know.
Scandinavian,
Somewhere
it's one of those
Nordic.
weird
Some fucking
Scandinavian
bork.
people. Yeah.
That's all I know, dude.
Tall blonde.
I saw a Swedish chef. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's honestly, man, just watch the Chris Nolan one. I don't know.
But it doesn't have that Criterion endorsement, though.
But Chris Nolan has the Criterion endorsement with following. So therefore,
Not a different
By
movie,
transitive
though.
property, it does have the Criterion endorsement. And
Exactly.
Josh owns the Criterion collection. So
facts.
he does have permission.
We've established that.
Yeah.
It's just it's fine.
Did you blind buy it?
I did. And I'm going to blind sell it.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's just whatever. I saw Bullet Train as well. We need to talk about Bill Cosby.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
That's the name of the documentary,
Oh, wow.
Chris.
Okay.
It's a Showtime original documentary about a piece of shit. I mean,
And for those who don't know, what did Bill Cosby do?
it is a very revealing documentary, and it's by a documentarian who loves Bill Cosby. So there's that sort of
Not a
like,
popular opinion these days.
well, he did,
Right,
and it's
right.
like he's sort of like, he's like, yeah, I grew up with him, and like he was so influential on like my comedy and all of these things. So it's told from like a very loving place, but it's like,
He's a monster.
but he's a monster. It's actually a really, really well told documentary, and like the very end of it, it's like spoilers, not spoilers. It's just news. He gets released from jail, dude, on a technicality.
Didn't he do the Fat Albert laugh when he was being released from jail? Like,
No.
okay.
Yeah. But anyways, it's fucking.
I'll just throw that out there then.
It's a riveting documentary. I definitely recommend you check it out if that interests you at all. But yeah, tough to watch, man. Tough to watch.
He was literally the first stand-up comedian I ever heard, like ever.
Yeah.
So I feel like kind of like that guy. Like, I'm not a talented documentarian, but like seeing all that shit come out, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's on Showtime, you said?
It's on Showtime.
Showtime. It's just called Yikes, the Bill Cosby story.
Like, this is going to
honestly,
be a
dude,
fun
that's-
topic of conversation.
That's like if Jeff Foxworthy were a serial killer. You know what I mean?
I could see that.
I could see it as well.
What? You might be a redneck.
And you might be a redneck if you...
If you forget to pour glycerin on your corpses.
Anyways, would you recommend it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
And
Is
then
it a series or just a doc? Like
series?
series. All
Doc
right.
series. I think it's only 4 episodes.
Yeesh.
Lots of great interviews in it though, and then he talks to obviously a lot of the victims as well. Who tell like it's crazy the history that he's telling, and it's like the history of the show and like his career up until the Bill Cosby show, and then it fucking like stops dead center whenever the victims are telling their stories with no cuts.
Jesus.
Jeez, that sounds rough.
It is like fuck. It's like a stark contrast of like the history and story of fucking Bill Cosby, whoa, and then a fucking awful story.
He's the most prolific rapist in American history.
One of, dude, arguably.
It's still impossible for me to wrap my head around, honestly, where it's like Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Like, I still hear that and I'm like,
That
Yeah.
goofy motherfucker.
Kids
Like,
say the darndest things.
Yeah.
it's fucking wild. Anyways, fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit. What else we got?
The first indication, though, that he's like that is the intro to the Cosby Show. Him and his wife on the show kiss, but they don't ever actually meet. And that I was always like, it's
Something
weird.
going on there.
Yeah.
And there's literally an episode where he's talking about his barbecue sauce that he makes.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, do you ever notice that like 15, 20 minutes after you eat my barbecue sauce that everyone gets a little lovey-dovey? It's like, oh my God. It's like right in there, dude.
And in the 80s, they're like, that wacky dad.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Anyways,
Awful.
anything else?
Yeah, one last thing to get me prepped for this episode, dude. I watched Scream.
Hell yeah.
The OG Scream in 4K, BB.
Nice.
Wow.
You have the DVD on 4K, or did you just rent?
I bought it. I
nice.
bought the 4K edition or whatever.
Hell yeah.
The 4K
Just came out.
VHS.
4K VHS. It's fucking fantastic.
Holds up, man.
What more can you say about
yeah.
Scream other than like it's one of the best horror films of all time that changed everything?
Oh yeah.
Written by.
The same writer as I
Kevin
Know What You Did
Williamson.
Last Summer.
That's right.
Kevin Williamson.
Kevin Williamson. There you go. Nev Campbell. Yeah. It's just fucking fantastic.
The other people in that movie.
Yeah.
Courtney Cox, Rose McGowan.
That opening scene scarred me. Like the one where
Oh, yeah.
Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the parents come in, they're right there, and she's dying. Spoilers for a movie that came out in 1990 something.
What the fuck?
96. She dying, right next, like they're almost home, and that always fucked with me.
Yeah.
How it was like they're right there.
Yeah.
And she
She can't like even scream. She's like, because
Oh, shit. You
That's
said
the name
it.
of the movie.
we did it.
we did it.
Thanks for listening to the Arts Many Movies.
that was
That'll
the
be
show.
$200 on the
$5 a
Patreon.
month on Patreon, please.
But wow, on 4K, holy shit, it's pretty great, man. Definitely check that out. It's just such a time capsule, and it still holds up. It's like one of the sleekest looking horror films of all time. Like that was whenever they decided, Miramax did. It's like, let's put some fucking money into this thing. You know what I mean? Slashers at the time aren't doing a
Slasher.
whole-
It just
hardly
matters.
know her.
Yeah.
Whatever.
At the time, it's like, they're these low budget films that aren't making a lot of money anymore. Like they've kind of lost their luster. And then this really smart meta horror comes along, written by
Kevin Williamson.
Kevin Williamson.
And you knew that as
by-
well.
Kevin Williamson.
Forgot his name.
And directed by Wes Craven, also importantly.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the other thing about these. So that one, and we'll get into it as we talk about I Know You Did Last Summer, is revitalizing the slasher genre.
And putting money into
oh,
it.
yeah.
Getting good actors. Courtney Cox at the height of her career, like she's doing Friends, and then it's like, oh, let me do this horror film also.
Yeah.
That looks expensive. It looks amazing.
I can't wait for you to watch the new one.
I'm going to watch the new one.
Yeah, I can't wait to see
ASAP.
that.
Very fun.
I used to think that Wes Craven and Wes Borland were the same person.
Who's Wes Borland?
He's the guitar player for Limp Bizkit.
I'm sorry about him, Travis.
like this
Hey,
Just
they're
apologize
fun
here.
facts. All right.
Wes Craven's he's a kooky guy, man. We just covered The Hills Have Eyes for one of our other most recent episodes, and like in the process of doing that, we got into like the background of Wes Craven, and yeah, he's an interesting character. Like he was raised in like a fundamentalist Baptist household. He didn't see an actual movie until he was like a senior in college. Yeah, and then he grows up that way, and then the first movie he writes is Last House on the Left.
Holy
Which, yeah,
shit.
if you haven't seen it,
So he's fine mentally.
yeah,
Yeah,
everything's
he's-
okay there.
he's a
fine.
cool
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Well,
So he
no,
had a good childhood.
He's not fine anymore. I mean, he died. in
Something
2020,
happened?
so.
Wait, what? I'm just kidding.
But yeah, and then to do that and then do the Hills Have Eyes, you're like, dude, there's something going on there.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
That's it for me. Alex, what about you?
One moment.
If you need to like go to the bathroom or anything, take
One
a break.
moment.
Now's a great time.
We provide diapers for our guests, first off.
Yeah.
All right. Number one is How To with John Wilson. This is a comedy series on HBO Max that is produced by Nathan Fielder because the rehearsal is over and I need more Nathan Fielder
It is. Yeah.
style
it's-
comedy.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. It's a very monotone man describing how to do basic to complicated tasks and like the history behind them.
Very dry humor.
Very, very dry.
It's a guy in New York that just like shoots a bunch of footage and then makes a weird,
Just like a pseudo narrative.
like a weird
Okay.
narrative out of stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Next, I have, and Josh will love this one, Dr. Stone. This is an anime about all of humanity becomes petrified in stone, and a man has to revive all of humanity and bring.
This is absolutely one of those elementary taglines where it's like, no one can see. Everyone's stone. It's like
What?
right up like the series C, where it's like the
Oh.
premise is so like student film, like, and then it's built on a foundation that's like so weak.
It's good.
I bet.
I like it a lot.
How does he revive them with like a little kiss on the lips or?
No, oh, I wish. No, it's all like actual, like there are science consultants and physicists and shit like that help with all of the math on the show, and
So
it's all legit.
It's not like magic. It's like a
No, it's like
Interesting.
legit science. There's a video on YouTube where Carrie Byron from MythBusters
Aw.
goes through and
my first love.
yeah.
I like her a lot.
Yeah, she's great.
Great
and,
actress.
She goes through and she's like, "Yep, all this is possible," but like through each sequence, and she's like, "Yeah, all that science is legit." It's really interesting in that regard. So it's fun. It's good.
Where can you watch this?
Crunchyroll.
Nice.
You're like, and I knew it, you piece of shit.
Alex Wilson, proud sponsor of Crunchyroll.
Hey, give me money.
Crunchyroll sponsor the pod. We'll sponsor Alex. Don't sponsor us.
Next up, I have Watcher.
Hardly know her.
There we go. This is a horror movie.
With Keanu Reeves?
No.
Fuck.
Fuck. It has the girl from It Follows. And
Ooh.
it's real good. It's basically a woman thinks that, or everyone is under the perception that a woman thinks she's being watched. And they're like, yeah, you're crazy, crazy lady. Women being crazy.
It's the typical, like, the woman's being gaslit the whole movie.
100%.
Like, yeah.
And I don't want to reveal any more, but I think it's worth watching.
It's a really solid movie.
Yeah,
That's
Came
one
out-
that I haven't seen, and somebody recommended that to me
good.
as well.
Oh,
recently, and I
is
gotta
that
check it
the
out.
Shudder film?
Yes.
There we
Got
go.
it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Very solid. We actually watched it in the Discord, $5 a month to get access to that. Watch parties, all that stuff.
Last up, this is the most interesting thing by far on my list, is Running with the Devil on Netflix. This is a documentary about John McAfee, a fucking psychopath motherfucker.
How does it compare to Oki's weird stories on him? And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's basically exactly that. It's so in that guy's YouTube channel, he interviews John McAfee, and John McAfee's basically like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you," and it's just to a guy that has like 50 subscribers on YouTube. And so the first half of this documentary follows the Vice crew that is basically accompanying him from like the most southern part of Central America up to Guatemala, and he's like illegally leaving these countries and then entering the new ones, and he's like trying to bribe the border guards and shit, and they're not having it. So he hires the most corrupt lawyer and the most corrupt regime of like Ecuadorian history. It's just wild shit. And there's something, I don't want to spoil it, but there's like the last 5 seconds of the documentary made me go like, holy fucking shit. It is wild.
Wait, so I'm sorry if this is stupid, but is this not the guy that does like the antivirus software?
It 100%.
100% is.
Yeah.
That's where he got his start, is antivirus software that you all
I just
had.
wanted to connect those dots real quick.
Yeah, no.
And then he built a hammock for women to shit in his face.
Oh, yeah. No, I heard about that. Yeah, okay.
Cut to getting absolutely dumped on.
Then he made me look at the poop. That's the literal quote.
Oh my god. Anyways,
Wow.
Just a cool dude all around.
yeah.
What an interesting, a man of the world, you'd say.
Yeah. But it's crazy because so the first half is that Vice crew following him, and Vice actually chickened out of the story at the time, so they never got to run their story, and
cowards.
they were just on the run with John McAfee for months and months and months, and almost got killed multiple times. The cameraman on that crew is possibly one of the hardest dudes of all time. It showed war footage. He was a wartime photographer for 30 years all over the world. So 30
And he's
years,
like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
yeah. He's like, this is the closest I've been, I think, to actually getting murdered by a psychopath.
Jesus Christ.
It is worth watching. Running with the Devil, the John McAfee story.
So not Vice.
It's on Netflix.
Netflix.
It's
nice.
a Yikes original.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very nice. You did it.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Nice. All right.
What about you, Chris?
I watched The Night House starring.
Hey.
And go ahead and open
Oh
up that
my
Zoa.
god, that looks crispy.
Zoa, please respond to our emails about sponsorship.
He's busy with Black Adam. Shut up.
It's about drive. It's about power.
Sponsored by God.
What flavor are you rocking today?
Tropical Punch.
That sounds
We
really
in the
good.
dick.
Yummy.
Playing the classics.
Good.
I watched The Night House starring.
Oh my god, you got a wet mouth.
How was that sip out of 10?
It's fucking This fucking.
That sounded really refreshing.
It was really
awesome.
yeah.
Honestly.
It's tremendous.
Welcome back to Too Many Movies ASMR.
That sounded like when you're in the movies and they have that animation where they pour a bunch of ice down and then they
So
pour the soda.
satisfying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need a Coke now.
Yeah. It's working.
That's Nicole Kidman at AMC.
Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Pain feels good here.
What?
Nerd. What?
That's
That's a line from her thing.
Pain feels good here?
Yeah. She's talking about how
She's talking about Eyes Wide Shut is what she's talking about.
she's talking about how brilliant the sound and picture quality is. She's like, pain feels good in a place like this. Like the pain of watching a sad
She's a
film.
prisoner of AMC.
Yeah.
They're not going to let her go. Apparently, there's a sequel in production.
BDS AMC.
yeah.
So yeah, I watched The Night House starring Rebecca Hall. It's great. I liked it. I think it's a very solid thriller, actually. It is another one of those, is it in her head, is it not, women being gaslit thing. But it was overall really solid, I thought. And Rebecca Hall it kills it.
She is a wonderful actress, dude.
Yeah, she's
One
great.
of the most wonderful of all actresses.
Why are
Right
you
up there
saying it
with
like-
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
There you go. I also love just like the spectacle, like the mesmerizing sort of like puzzle thing that goes on in that movie is like it's really cool.
It was, at first you're like, okay, because...
How do you feel about it? Yeah.
It's like gimmicky because they didn't do too much of the illusion thing to make it like a prominent theme, but they did enough to like allude to it, which it felt like a little like an accent on the thing, but it was a cool little like VFX accent.
I like it as a standalone, like, bit in itself. I thought it was really cool. Yeah, but you're right. Maybe like, and as far as fitting into the larger movie and stuff.
Yeah, I forget the name of
underutilized.
that type of illusion.
I'd say
The negative space thing. I don't know how you. There's a word for it. You're probably right. I don't know.
like a double exposure situation.
I don't know. It was a solid movie though. I liked it.
Compared to What Lies Beneath, Chris,
Ooh.
What about it?
wouldn't you say that it kind of similar? It's a little similar?
A little bit. It's been so long since I've seen What Lies Beneath.
Oh, okay.
though.
That? Yeah.
That's a fire movie, though.
That's a
more of
fucking fire movie.
The vibe of that movie is very like Indiana Jones esque too, though, right? Like where they're going. That's the one. Am I thinking of
Harrison Ford, yeah.
is that the one where they go in the catacombs under? I might be thinking of a
No,
completely
that's
different movie.
different.
That's As Above, So Below. Never mind.
Yeah.
Which is solid,
Yeah.
actually.
That's I don't remember enjoying it as much. I thought it was going to be a little more intense.
I might have the nostalgic glaze of that.
The poster
Yeah.
was fucking fantastic for that movie.
100%.
The artwork and like the trailer and all of it, like the title is even metal as shit.
Yeah. Sorry, I derailed you. I didn't mean.
No worries.
No,
That's-
What Lies Beneath is the Michelle Pfeiffer, Harrison Ford
Yeah,
joint.
yeah.
Oh, funny that I said Indiana Jones then.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what?
Coming at it from a different angle.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So the other thing I watched was all Alien movies, excluding
okay.
excluding Alien versus Predator.
So you watched the 6-film collection?
Yes, the Alien 6-film collection.
Hell yeah.
I skipped the AVP movies because obviously, it just like lore wise, it's like
Oh, because
You know?
it's not canon, and therefore it is filler, and therefore you can skip it, right?
filler.
Isn't that?
matter.
Oh, there you go. You defeated me.
So kicking it off, Alien.
Wait, do you like anime at all?
Oh yeah, I'm into it. I'm
So
not. I'm
have
just
you-
not as well versed on like a lot of the more obscure ones. And stuff.
Have you watched One Piece?
Oh yeah. Well, I've watched some of One Piece.
It's a big
Because-
ask to get the entire way through.
I had a roommate in college who, he took it upon himself to get through all of it, and so I would come in and out of it throughout that journey. Of his.
And you were getting laid,
I was busy having sex.
right, fellas? $5 a month on Patreon.
Could you say that you watched all of the episode, like all of it, by not watching all of it?
Like completion by omission or something.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah.
It is a simple
So this son of a
scientific
bitch
fact.
Claims to have watched all of One Piece when in fact he skipped hundreds of episodes.
No. Let me correct you. I don't claim to have watched all of it. I claim to be caught up.
You simply can't when you haven't watched seasons of One Piece.
So
I will say, I wouldn't consider that completing the watch.
I beg to differ,
didn't watch
and I
to
actually
completion.
demand to differ.
Yeah.
And
the internet just has decided certain ones aren't canon, and then it's not decided.
it's not. Yeah, they just simply aren't. No.
Anyways, I didn't mean to
Sort of
do
like
that.
AVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's chronologically, if you're going to watch them, AVP is the prequels to the prequel, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna watch it in the order of events that happen, the two AVPs are first.
Yeah.
Which it's like, so in prehistoric times they were firing.
And then Prey kind of throws a wrench in that too, I guess, doesn't it? With the
to me, Prey, like they say that was the first time Predator visited Earth in Prey. And
until they make the sequel to Prey, in which case it'll be during Jesus times, like
Jesus versus Predator.
fuck yeah,
I'd watch that shit.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
It's just Boba Hotep with fucking
Bubba
alien.
Hotep.
Yeah.
That's a dope movie.
Imagine when they go to make Prey, they're like, the writers are like, hey, so what about AVP? And they're like, did you just say what about AVP? Like, we gotta honor that lore in this script. Like, come on.
Question though, in the 6-film collection, is that also including Prometheus and Covenant?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
so
it.
Dude, Covenant goes fucking hard.
It does.
I like Covenant a lot.
So I'll breeze through these, but Alien, the first one, it's a master of suspense and horror, and just it's the birth of the xenomorph in culture, basically.
One of the most iconic monsters.
It's amazing. Iconic, Sigourney Weaver, fucking amazing movie.
Great actress.
Then Aliens by James Cameron.
Jimmy Cameron, like we call him.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Jim Cam.
Jimmy Cam.
Jimmy Cams.
It's amazing how much Aliens feels like Avatar.
Really?
Have you noticed that? Like, it's like
I've
the
never
mech
seen Avatar.
suits.
I've never
When
seen
you-
Aliens.
You've never seen Avatar?
I guess there are huge elements of that. Yeah, like the whole mech suit thing, and then you're right. That's a
The garage, like,
Yeah.
there's like a...
his sci-fi patois is like he's got that. Well, that was a fancy word. I don't know where that came from.
Probably from the band Abattoir.
There you go.
Patois.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, the holographic, like cockpits and like the mech suit, like it does feel so much like Avatar when you're watching it. But that one is, you put it well. It was like Aliens is more actiony.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a master of suspense and horror. It's a master of action.
Yeah.
And I think like I enjoyed both of them in their own genre in that sense, where it's like a lot of people don't like Aliens as much, but the execution is really good. I think
I don't know which one I like more, but I think Aliens has more like of those iconic moments.
Yeah.
Where like she's in the big mech suit.
Come
and-
here, you
dude.
bitch, or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Get away from her, you bitch!
How about Alien to the Third Power?
Yeah, which is why did they do that?
What do you mean?
Wouldn't that make it Alien
to,
9?
to the power of 3?
I know. Yeah, exactly. What, like Alien 3?
Alien Cubed.
Alien Cube.
Yeah.
This movie is something else. Directed by David Fincher, which is crazy.
Weird.
Davey Finchies?
Davey Finches.
yeah.
That's the one with the where they were really, because it was the 90s by that point, right? And they were really experimenting with the 3D models that just look super janky when they
Yeah.
like slide around and shit.
Yeah, so they were like, it was actually puppets. They were puppeteering and green screening and rotoscoping puppets frame
That's
for
right,
frame into the movie.
Yikes.
And so instead of
could be
doing
cool.
So instead of doing life-size animatronics and puppets, they were like, why don't we do it at a third scale and cut that in? And it looks like an Instagram sticker slapped on the movie.
Jesus.
The whole
I
time.
think I saw the same VFX breakdown as you did, and then because the main problem is like the shadows and shit, like nothing works.
Yep. Yeah, the VF, it's just so goofy. I mean, it's like the first time they tried this. This is why screen tests are important, by the way. I don't know how they did this and like thought, let's roll with it.
That looks perfect.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
do
roll
it.
with
But they,
what year was it? 90.
Alexa, what year did the movie Alien 3 come out?
This might answer your question.
Might.
The movie Alien 3 came out in 1992.
Boom.
Did that
Nice.
answer your
Damn.
question?
Yes, it did. And don't say anything about Rings of Power. Thank you.
By
Thanks
the
for your
way,
feedback.
Hey, she took it.
She's like, however.
that was a mature conversation.
However, eat shit. Rings of Power.
Suck my E-dick.
So yeah, Alien 3 it's plot-wise, I mean, all of it is so downhill from the rest of the series, like in comparison. It
like
takes place on a prison. They wake her up from cryo. They're like, you've been floating in space for decades, 200 years or something. And also the cat's not in it. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Jonesy the
fuck
cat
that.
doesn't make it into the
Aw.
third one. So, I mean, they also kill a dog. There's just a lot going on.
No way, dude.
Yep.
Not about it.
Remember
Yep.
Kill a dog.
That
They
genuinely does.
Why are there dogs in space?
A good question.
Space
Exactly.
dogs.
Space cats,
But
however.
having a dog die in a movie, they've stopped doing this in recent years because they know that like that just ruins like a person's perception of the movie, no matter what.
Yeah.
But
Dude, like the dog being rescued in Independence Day, one of the best things in film history is
Yeah.
when the dog jumps on a car and like
Yeah.
escapes an alien explosion, dude.
Yeah.
And it's literally a golden retriever, like, off screen.
it's Air Bud.
Yeah.
That's the origins.
Air Bud, but it's like Air Alien Bud.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Alien Air Bud crossover that we were waiting
Oh
for
my
this entire
God.
time.
Yeah.
Just a golden retriever and a xenomorph, like xenomorph fucking facing off.
Well, that's why
That's prey, I guess. But
it bursts out of a dog on the ship. That's how it gets infected.
oh yeah.
And that's what spawns these fast smaller aliens that run on all fours in this movie.
Kind of
That
a big
is
ripoff of
terrifying.
the Thing.
The team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda,
Big
yeah.
time.
The Ting Man.
Das
Das
Ding.
Ding.
Yeah.
Das Ding.
Las cosas.
So Alien 3 is a mess. It's crazy that Fincher did that, but
And
it
then
is
Resurrection is after that,
correct. Alien Resurrection,
which is your favorite.
which is absolutely off the fucking rails.
That's the one that I always like. I have a vague memory of it, but I don't know if I've actually. I think I saw pieces of it as a child, and I never like followed through and saw it. I just remember Sigourney Weaver's like reincarnation stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
and it being like very like difficult for me to wrap my head around it as a young boy.
Yeah, written by Joss Whedon and
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
yeah, and
Of Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing.
Yeah, in that era
More
too.
notable than Avengers, you might say.
yeah, and of course Justice League.
The Justice League.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one Wayland Corp just goes ape shit, takes DNA and makes clones of Sigourney Weaver, which is just it just goes off, and it becomes
She's
a
the
full-blown
ultimate person.
As a sci-fi premise, really cool. Like kind of like
Yeah.
as you're gonna get into, I guess, the next couple. But like, there's some cool ideas there. But
Yeah.
execution wise,
execution. It's a comedy.
Yeah.
it's genuinely funny the way they like. It's the tone is so weird and off and different.
Camp.
Like it's funny watching them back to back because you just watch the descent into madness of studios and rewrites and like you
Yeah.
just watch them go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah, too many cooks and-
yeah, it just gets wild, it's like completely off the fucking rails. Still no cat, so there's that. Off the fucking rails.
Did you say too many cooks or too many cucks?
Cooks.
Oh, okay. My
Specifically
bad.
we'll
cooks.
call him A, we'll call him B.
Well, all right.
Prometheus though?
Yeah.
That's a divisive movie. I
like it.
Ridley's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, it's good.
Yeah,
Come
this
on.
This is when he kind of steps back in and was like, "Listen,
Yeah.
You motherfuckers forgot.
let's
Yeah.
get this. Let's get this.
In case
back,
you forgot.
yeah, back to basics here.
Here's robot Michael Fassbender, dude.
Yeah.
amazing performance.
Yeah.
So he's a great robot.
He is a great robot.
He's great in everything, but yeah.
Great actor. Yeah, Prometheus was solid. Ridley Scott's back. It was a writing duo that's he didn't write it, but he directed it. It then we get the engineers and we get like the origin of this bioweapon xenomorph thing, all that.
Bunch of bald dudes.
Yep. Basically, yeah. The Michelin
Big
men.
baldies.
The Michelin spacemen,
Yeah.
basically.
The handsome Squidwards.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up.
Straight up, just the handsome Squidward planet, just fucking
Big
starting off.
schnozzes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that iconic sequence where is it Naomi Rapace plays the main lady?
I don't know.
Is that how you say your last name?
I don't know.
Where she runs
And
in a
it's not
straight line
Yes,
away from
it's exactly what I'm
where you're
talking
gonna go.
about.
It's actually Numi.
Is it
It's Numi.
Numi?
Numi Rapace.
Is it really? How's it spelled?
Rapace.
Is it like N?
Numi.
It's
it
two
Numi?
O's. Numi.
Is
Is it really?
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, that is the scene where she runs in a straight line. Her and Charlize Theron.
Yeah, weird choice,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
Idris Elba's in that, right?
he is. He's so good in that too.
This is a great movie.
That is
This is a great movie.
It's a
all
very
around.
solid movie. Setting up. It's setting. That's the prequel series. So I mean, that and Covenant, I think, are fantastic movies. Actually, Danny McBride is in Covenant for some reason. but
Oh,
he's
yeah.
actually
He plays one of the
actually pretty good.
engineers, right?
Yeah, he plays the guy Tennessee on the ship.
Of course he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Danny McBride.
He
Christopher,
plays it himself.
Yeah.
yeah. It was pretty good though.
you saw all 6 of these.
All 6.
You ready to rank them all?
Fuck. Okay. Alien 1's got to be first because
Yeah,
of course it
because
is.
of course.
It's a masterpiece.
You were saying earlier this week that Aliens might be your favorite over Alien.
Yeah, I think I had recency bias because
Yeah.
I just got off of it and I was like, that was really fun because
Yeah.
it just ramped up the action and I think
But, like, one
production
is
values.
just-
And
one
the
is-
alien queen.
Yes,
Dude.
that aspect. And I think that the end fight of Aliens is so fucking iconic. Like her with the mech suit and then that's foreshadowed with her early training. It was just
And if you played, what's it? Conquer Live and Reloaded, you got
yes.
to play that. What? It's a fact.
it's like a demo.
No, it's the end of the game as you fight the alien in the mech suit.
Oh, my bad.
And then you are Keanu in the Matrix.
So it's an homage. Got it. To pop culture.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Alien 1. I'd have to put Aliens 2 second. Then Prometheus, then Covenant.
It's a race to the bottom from there.
Yeah.
Then 3, then Resurrection.
Congrats, Chris.
Thanks,
You did
man.
it.
I did
Thank you
it.
for doing that.
No problem.
I think that's the correct ranking.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say
it's
so.
hard to argue that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to our
I would put Covenant above Prometheus, but
Damn, strong
I don't know, it's
strong opinion.
that one, while it's really well executed, is leaning. It is more actiony, and you get so many CG aliens towards the end. That then it's like not bad. It just feels like the bread and butter of Alien is like the silhouette, the dripping, the horror, the suspense. I mean, I'm saying this as a person and not Ridley Scott, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Where it's like that to me, like when you see it in broad daylight, you know, basically
Yeah,
boxing
Covenant
somebody.
is the one where they're on the helicopter and it's like on top of the helicopter, so you see its full body and it like is wiggling around and shit.
Yeah,
And that's fucking hard.
it was
but
a
it's
good
like
scene, but
Yeah.
if he had the technology back then that he has now, he probably would have had it featured a lot more.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that it's so low budget and it's like they can only do so much with this costume.
Yeah.
That like it's the Jaws effect, you know? It's
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
was gonna say it's this eternal problem with like not just horror but other genres, but horror specifically is always a victim of this, where it's like so many things that we think of as being elements of horror are products of budget limitations
Yep.
or technology of the time, but because as things gain their
But look at this, dude. Signs was what $60 million to make, and it was executed perfectly in that like you barely see the aliens in Signs. You know,
it's like $1 million and half the budget went to Mel Gibson.
yeah.
Literally.
but it's like them
and his legal
using
fees.
them using the suspense and like limiting our vision of the actual alien that makes it more impactful. It's like a perfect mix of those two, where it's like it is a big budget, but they're using it in the right ways. And it's like, even though some of those CGI characters look a little rough now, like
they're not as like on display as
it's not as egregious.
And it's also, but to your point though, I think that is also a visual effects tool, right? Where you're the less you have to show of something, the more you can get away with visually.
Yeah.
And so by the same token, it's like arguably, if they had better technology to fully render them in hyper realistic, characters and stuff, maybe they would have done it. But yeah, the choice to disguise them and hide them is, I don't know, it's become a part of horror, and it's like
Yeah.
and then you have the egg and the fucking
Ooh,
chest bursting
the goo.
scene. Come on, it's
It's so funny how
Classic.
when you watch all 6 back to back, how you see every single scientist just like, huh? For 6 films, like, hey,
and then it opens and goes,
can Wayland Corp send out like an email that's like,
Yeah.
hey, if you see any weird eggs, don't stick your face right
Yeah.
into them.
yeah.
They're literally called face huggers.
Yeah.
Get a fucking grip.
Yeah.
that was a cool element of the prequels, though, is the idea of the Michael Fassbender robot going in and like
Programming,
surreptitiously,
yeah.
infecting people with it.
Dude,
versus,
I love
like-
that element of it.
Yeah.
Where it's
So good.
the origin dating back when you get into the prequels, it's a rogue AI. That's always, I mean,
You're like, oh shit, you brought it full sci-fi circle.
Speaking of this, so I was listening to you guys do your episode on Signs, and was it you, Josh, that said you were genuinely afraid of aliens? Like,
Yeah, he's terrified.
Yeah, because
well, we've got an alien here today.
We've got a big surprise.
He just it's fucking Howard. It's the Howard the Gray alien.
you fell for it. Did you watch Nope yet?
Yeah.
You
No,
did?
it was fucking fantastic.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
But it goes back to this documentary, and like we really need to watch this documentary at some point.
Still never seen this.
Oh my god, it's like it's a mockumentary. It's a family like on Thanksgiving having Thanksgiving dinner, and then an alien is like interrupting or invades their farm, and it's like literally turning their cows inside out, but it's like really shitty, dude. It's not very good at all. But I saw it when I was like 6 years old.
Yikes.
Scarred me for the rest of my fucking
Yeah,
life, dude.
no, I had the same like reaction to like also like seeing movies like this, and then the Fifth or Close Encounters.
Yes.
And the one that really fucked me up was The Fourth Kind.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
We were all traumatized by that movie.
Dude,
Have you watched it recently though?
I think in the last year probably I watched
so you liked it still?
Yeah, it's fine. It's like there's a lot of the the technique of putting like the real footage in there and having the duality
Dude,
of the Mila Jovovich and
God.
like
Come on, dude.
Alex and I saw this in theaters together, having no idea that it was a fake found footage movie. We went in there like, oh,
Blair
this
Witch
is
Project style.
huh?
Like
you went in there
Blair
Blair
Witch
Witch
style.
Project
Yeah.
style?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, so this is a real thing.
We shit ourselves.
we actually had like a whole I forget what episode we did it on, but we were talking about it was doing Scott Derrickson doing a Sinister, because there's this whole conversation to be had about the consequences of using art to portray real things, and then this sort of like feedback loop of how that then influences like actual culture. Like Blair Witch was a great example where it's like, that was one of the few chances we'll get in history for that phenomenon to kind of like happen like that, where people really bought into it because of the way it was marketed and everything.
It's so genius. Yeah.
We point to The Fourth Kind as another example of that, though, because it has this negative effect on the communities of like Nome, Alaska, which in real life has a lot of like is infamous for like disappearances of people, because it's not necessarily because of aliens, but because it's fucking Alaska and people go off into the wilderness and either get lost or get murdered or something's happening. But as a consequence, you get like pop art, like pop culture
Theorists.
tourists, right?
Yeah, okay,
who
yeah.
come and like will they're inflicting harm on the people that live there and just trying to live their lives and shit.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really interesting like dichotomy, like we talked about with Scott Derrickson, because in Sinister that's like the character is like profiting off of true crime and stuff, where it's like you're making money on the blood of these people's tragedies and stuff. And
Yeah,
so
where
Well,
it's
they
like-
shouldn't have died.
it was their fault. They shouldn't have gotten abducted by aliens.
Are you a big Scott Derrickson fan?
I come down a couple of different ways. The Black Phone just came out recently, and that was the movie that Scott Derrickson left Doctor Strange 2 to go direct. And it was a fine. He has some good movies, but I feel conflicted about him. He's another one of those weird characters where like. The other example in his career that kind of spurred that conversation was The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which is another story that is based loosely on real life events. Where like in Germany there was this family who of very devout fundamentalist like Orthodox Christians or whatever, who performed like an exorcism on their daughter, and was like Annabelle something, who was probably having like epileptic, like schizophrenic episodes.
Yeah.
It's weird how that only happens to devout Catholics and Christians.
And so it was this weird thing where it's like, she starved to death because of like what the community and her family were doing to her, and there was a whole trial about it, and there was like it's
neglect.
Neglect, criminal neglect and stuff. But then the idea of like taking that story and then you create a horror film, fictional work, but like in the spirit of like, this is true and this is real things that are happening, and you're using that as a device to get an audience and to like make a profitable movie. And so it's funny because you watch the movie Sinister, and like the character that Ethan Hawke plays is like looks a lot like Scott Derrickson, like the way he's dressed up in that movie. And you're like, there's a little bit of like, I wonder if there's a little bit of a soul searching happening here in this movie. I like his movies. I like the first Doctor Strange, and I like the Black Phone well enough.
The first Doctor Strange is very good.
Yeah,
It's fun.
He's a good horror director.
Really, really cool visuals.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of the unearned jump scares, which I think is one of my main like just
Yeah,
Yeah,
give it a bit
with
more
them.
suspense.
yeah.
Well, fair enough.
It's an interesting like concept to think about. Like, what's the appropriate time to wait to do something like real? Where it's
I don't
like
know, when was-
Netflix, it's like 3 months.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna make money off of your trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, The Crucible has been around for
Yeah.
forever, and that's like the earliest example of that, probably.
Yeah, doing the Salem witch trials,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Well, anyways, that's our watch list.
Cool.
So
Cool.
should we pivot over to I Know What You Did Last Summer and do some games?
Okay, so we got to do the games. First off, is it cinema? Right? Should we do that?
Are we doing
Should
this
we-
first?
I guess we can tease it here, right? And then if you want to hear our full review, hop over to Scary Sunday Scaries.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it.
All right.
Is it cinema with with Marty Scorsese's. We have to determine whether or not I Know What You Did Last Summer is in fact cinema or not cinema, according to the one scale of one Marty Scorsese's. It's a pretty simple question. Cinema, not cinema. We'll save you for last.
Okay.
It's your movie. You brought it to us.
I made this movie.
Right.
I am the director.
Chris?
He knows what we did last summer. Yeah, it's cinema, obviously. It's
And that's our buddy Orson Welles approving whether or not it's
He's
cinema.
a friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Alex, is it cinema?
Yeah.
I also think it's cinema. Travis?
it's down to you.
Yeah, I think it's cinema.
It's
I would
cinema.
say it's cinema.
So now we have the dutiful obligation to determine whether or not I Know What You Did Last Summer belongs in the one true cinema format of 4:3. Scott Snyder was the one to give us all the lowdown.
He invented 4-3.
Zack Snyder. You're thinking of the Batman author.
You're right. Zack Snyder. He taught us about 4:3 and how it's the only way to really tell a story. You know what I mean?
The only good movies are in 4-3.
Exactly. So true cinema belongs in 4:3.
In that aspect ratio. So does I Know What You Did Last Summer belong in 4-3? Alex.
No.
That's that then.
That's it.
Well, you shouldn't have let
Like
off
when
with
I
me.
watch this on IMAX, yeah, that's like kind of the I don't know.
Yeah, it's
What would it have been 4:3 for you?
4-3 meaning it's the best of the best. It's cream of the crop.
You would
You'd own
love
it.
to own this physically.
Yeah, you need to have
Yeah.
this on your shelf, your DVD shelf.
I mean, it's so it. This is one of the movies that we've done that I haven't had to rent or anything because it's on HBO streaming right now.
Right.
And I was like, that's appropriate.
Yeah.
That seems right.
Okay. So cinema,
that way.
not 4-3.
Cinema, not 4:3. I think that's appropriate.
That's fair.
all right.
Scream, however.
That's fucking
That's
4:3.
4-3 do
Because,
that.
yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So now DMT.
What is the dumb movie title for I Know What You Did Last Summer?
We're doing DMT together, guys.
Okay.
It's a journey. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
No, I will.
Okay, go ahead.
You can go.
All right. Summer fun, hit and run. I know
Nice.
I know you committed vehicular manslaughter, and then that hurt me when you hit me with your car, and then Shattered Dreams with a budget.
All right.
Shouts to Shattered Dreams.
Shattered Dreams. If you were in
Big
high school,
character in this movie.
If you went to a Texas high school, then your high school devoted all of the budget to a drunk driving movie.
PSA.
produced by children,
Yeah.
which is a bad
Where
investment.
children play drunk people at a party.
Yeah. Or force you to go through that. Did you go through that experience where they made you go like pretend that your friends were dead and stuff? And,
Yeah.
like, the whole like yeah.
They did it every 2 years.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're still gonna drink and drive.
And they did it every 2 years as like an event. It was like a seasonal thing.
They're like, yo guys, Shattered Dreams is in town.
Yeah.
Like it's the carnival.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, oh, let's stop class, go out, like, it's going to be a cool event.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to
I'm
come out.
learning to do math.
They got merch and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the whole fucking. No, they did though. They had like T-shirts
For
and
real,
shit.
yeah.
They're fucking shooting Shattered Dream shirts from a cannon. People are like, okay.
From the fire truck.
Into a car.
Yeah, people in like shitty, bloody hair and makeup, like, this could be you.
Yeah.
And then they had to walk around like ghosts for a week.
Which is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I love that part of it.
And then
It was
there are
really spooky.
there are students whose parents died in accidents and they have to just sit through it.
Yeah.
And
Yikes.
it's like, yeesh.
Yikes.
You're like, well,
Dude,
shouldn't have been.
Isn't this
their
fun?
children.
Isn't this fun? We're doing this for you. Isn't
Yeah.
this great?
Yeah. Our fucking school flew in a Care Flight helicopter.
Yeah.
Jesus
How much
Christ.
did that shit
How much
cost?
Seriously,
That
yeah, that's where your
budget
insurance
is-
money is going. Yeah.
God. Anyways,
DMTs.
I got hooker. I just met her. And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you borderline illiterate legal adults.
that's a little long, but sure.
A little long. I had Slasher. I hardly know her.
That's good.
The Collect Your Organs Fisherman.
Ah.
Right. A hook runs through it.
Nice.
All right.
And Gone Fishing Head On Collision.
Ah.
All right.
Okay.
I only had two. I had What Are You Waiting For? And then, of course, Croaker Queen.
Nice.
Nice.
Croaker Queen.
That's the name of the beauty pageant that she's in at the very beginning.
nice.
She's the Croaker Queen.
I love it.
What a shit town.
What a terrible, what a disgusting name.
Fuck North Carolina.
I
dude.
mean,
Seriously.
but for real
Fuck
though.
Southport.
All right. So now we got to do some games, dude.
Hell yeah.
How much? Wait, did you already do this in your research? Do you know how much it costs to make?
So do I. I accidentally saw it.
I do
sorry.
not know.
I do.
I know
Yeah,
the
I can
budget.
excuse myself.
All right. So no, let's do how much did it make?
Well, do you know the budget too?
No.
Why don't you and Alex guess?
Okay.
Yeah. Fuck.
How much did I Know What You Did Last Summer cost to make? This is really funny because... just go ahead, Alex.
First of all, I'm an economist.
Yeah. A film economist.
I will say $40 million. Damn it!
Interesting.
Fuck it. $40 million. That's my
Immediately
guess.
regrets your decision.
Fuck it.
You're doubling down, though.
Josh is doing literal math right now.
$47 million.
Cocksucker.
He's going higher.
Going a little higher.
Interesting. All right, Travis, I'll let you do the honors. How much did I Know What You Did Last... Oh, you're calculating for inflation. Okay. Get real.
This is the next
go.
level that I was
Let's
going to
go.
try to, because I was like,
Let's
let me
go.
add something to this. to
Okay,
actually
yeah,
make
no,
it
I like
interesting.
this. I like this.
Because I just wanted to see the box office if we calculated for inflation.
It's funny because I always see inflation
It's not that much
and
difference.
your search bar is you look up Futanari inflation.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Google it.
Don't do that.
Hey Alexa, what is Futanari?
I don't know that.
Bullshit.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it cost $17 million to make in 1997.
Damn.
Yeah. Not expensive.
Looks like I absolutely destroyed you, Josh.
With a guess that was more than twice off.
All right, so let's do actor game, huh?
Wait. Adjusting for inflation.
What I was curious about, I was curious about the box office because that was the one thing. So in 1997, this movie made $125 million. So I was
shit.
fuck yeah, it made its goddamn money back.
Yeah.
Which is about $227 million today. So not that far off. This was a lot funner to do for like the Hitchcock movie we did. Like we did 1960 Psycho for the beginning
cool.
of the series.
Nice.
And yeah, that movie made gangbusters. It was crazy.
Shit.
Yeah.
What was the inflation for that?
It's like 10 times. Like if you think about 1960 money versus like today, because also a big element of Psycho in 1960 is the amount of money she steals. She steals $40,000 from her boss, which is the equivalent of like $700,000 or something today.
Oh, wow.
So it was like a whole
Crazy.
It was cool.
Actor game?
Sure.
So, do you know what actor game is?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
actor game.
So basically, we name an actor and we go in a circle and name movies they've been in, and if you can't name one, you're out. So it's like last person standing, basically.
I'm gonna lose this.
And what
Let's see.
actor are we doing?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Can't hardly wait.
I still know what you did last summer.
Ooh. 911, the series.
Medium.
Shit. She was in...
Whenever you're ready.
I'm out.
Yeah. What is it? 4 Blocks? What was the movie that came out before this one? I might be wrong about that.
4
Yeah.
blocks.
You know what? I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
I'm out.
I am also out.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
he took my...
I think mine was a get.
All right, well, congratulations.
Shot in the dark.
You got that one.
I also have a business idea if you'd like to hear it. It's just one.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is
It'll be
the
a
new
quick
segment.
one.
It's just pitch. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of an entrepreneur of the show. I make all the money for the
Arguably.
show.
Arguably.
Not a big deal.
Entrepreneur.
I
just matter.
So this is a game show called Tickling the Ivories. The last white boy to get tickled and doesn't laugh wins a piano.
Wow.
Amazing. All right.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Shall we do are there any more actors or directors we can do?
Do we want to do like 90s, 2000 slashers? List out those?
Let's see. The consensus is no. No, I guess not.
Okay.
All right, there we are.
That's a show.
That's fun.
Shut the fuck up. Also,
Yeah.
What if the episode hard cutted right there? That was the end of the episode and nothing else happens. Just like, okay. And then it just, no outro, just
Fun.
and people are going to look at their phone like, did something break? All right, so let's wrap it up then.
Alrighty. Where's
speaking
my
of
fucking-
wrapping it up, you should
Nope. All
Always
right.
use prediction.
Speaking of wrapping up, $5 a month on Patreon to support your local on the internet podcast. There are too many movies. Travis from Scary Sunday Scaries, thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Make sure you listen to the review on Scary Sunday Scaries.
Yep, we are going to break down in its entirety I Know What You Did Last Summer over on their podcast. So head on over there and check it out.
Thanks.
Any other want to plug anything?
At Scary Sunday Scaries on Instagram, patreon.com/Scary Sunday Scaries.
Chris, edit that out. We're not plugging his Patreon.
No, don't.
I didn't pay us. B.
Later,
Cool.
Toads.